So what does a 400-pound Kawasaki Z750 actually look like, and what can we do with it? Will it start? Was it a bad buy? Let's find out. What is up, lovers of budget cars and bikes? Welcome back to the channel, and something a little bit different. Another little chance I took, should we say, on a bike that I know absolutely nothing about. I haven't seen at all, and it just kind of arrived. The only thing I know about it is what you know about it, which is basically it has no keys. I did record me stripping this, but unfortunately I lost the footage again. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but when I transfer the footage over to my computer, sometimes it just gets lost, and unfortunately that little bit got lost. But effectively what we've done is taken off the rear cowling over here, which wasn't actually as easy as you might think it was. It's just lots of fiddly little bolts, which was a real pain in the bum, and one of the biggest pains in the bum was actually getting the airbox out of here so I could get to the battery. As you can see, we've actually bought a new battery for it because I just figured that was the way to go. I did also actually film my trying to start it. I will basically in a minute get the new lock set, because I bought a new lock set off eBay, which was really cheap actually. It was sub 50 quid for a lock set. I'll go and grab that. So there is the new lock set. As you can see, it basically comes with this kind of top yoke here, and there is the key that just slots straight in and basically turns it on. One little plug, could not be simpler. There's no immobilizer on here. This is a 1999 Kawasaki, and effectively what will happen is we'll grab this and we will plonk it straight there and replace like for like. So we'll just pop that down there for a second. I've got no key, obviously. As I said, there is no keys with this bike. It came from an auction site, and it was a grand total of £400. Now obviously we had to pay some fees on top of that, and then they ship it over to us, and it turned out to be just under 550 quid, I think. And this little lock set down here, which does include the fuel cap and the seat release as well, that was just 50 quid. So basically this owes us at the moment 600 of your great British pounds, and we took a massive chance on it. But I just kind of figured a 750 Kawasaki with, wait for it, I've taken the clocks off as well, as you can see here. Again, so simple to work on these bikes. It was 2 bolts to take these clocks off, 2 bolts to take the handlebars off. You basically just take this yoke off, put the other one on, put it all back together. Happy days, in theory. But look at the mileage, 21,596 miles. Now that's one of the reasons I bought it. It's just because I figured, what can be really that wrong with a Kawasaki Z750 that's done 21,000 miles? It's a gamble. It's a massive gamble, but it's not going to bankrupt me. There are a few little quirks with this bike, and as I said, we did try to start it. Now it did make a bit of an odd noise. I thought it was excuse me, I thought it was the starter motor, but it turns out it's probably the sprag clutch. So what I'm going to do in a second is I'm going to stick this in a certain situation. I'll just plug it in basically so you can see what's going on, and I'll try to turn it over and you'll see exactly what I mean by this odd noise. So bear with me. So I've just basically plonked it down here for a second. Now the first thing we'll do is obviously switch it on. The indicators work, so we know that effectively everything is as it should be, in the respect that you know, we've got electrics. But oddly enough, oops, excuse me, if we get down here, you'll notice there's no lights on here. There's a full tank of fuel as well, which is a huge bonus, but there's no lights on there, which is a bit odd. It's not something that I'm going to worry too much about now. It's probably something to do with those little plugs down there, I'm assuming, but I don't know. Anyway, it is turned on, as you can see, because the indicators are working. So effectively we've got power. That's switched on down there, and I will show you exactly what happens when we try to turn this over. So bear with me a second. A very odd noise, I'm sure you would agree. Now it did actually try to fire then, so it does turn over. The engine's not seized, it's nothing like that. Let me just get rid of that a second. Yeah, it does turn over to a fashion there. You heard it start, or try to start rather. It tried to turn the engine over, which basically to my mind means that the engine's not seized. It's not anything drastic like that. But I went on to a Facebook group I'm a member of called TWAT. Now they are kind of based down in Cornwall, but they've got members all around the world. So you know, I'll put a link in the description as well. Really helpful bunch of guys. All bikers, obviously. 2 wheels, and that they are basically. As I said, I'll drop a link in the description. Join that forum if you ever want any advice. There are so many knowledgeable people on there. I put the video of that on there, and effectively people came back and said it's probably the starter motor, but some slightly more knowledgeable people came back and said it's probably the sprag clutch, because it's not engaging with the starter motor. So the funny thing is, I mean, it's not funny, but if you go onto Fowler's website and try to find out how much a starter motor is for the ZR750, have a guess. 100 quid? 200 quid? Try £582. Yeah, I kid you not. It's more than the bike cost me to buy a poxy little starter motor, which is just literally, well, I'm sure you know where a starter motor is, but it's just there. They want 500 quid for one of those, and that's probably because you can't find them. Now, this is a 1999, of course, so finding parts for this is not going to be easy. I hadn't really calculated for that in my gamble, if I'm honest, but generally speaking, the bike isn't too bad. It's got a little bit of scuffing here and there, but a lot of this will just rub out. Obviously, that'll rub out. Somebody's decided to do this kind of Celtic design dragon nonsense all over the place here, and they've also decided to use the world's worst green touch-up pen here, which is about as colour matched as a black pen would have been. My plan is probably to get some knee grips that will come just over here, just to cover that up a little bit, and I don't know, maybe get a bigger pad for here, because the tank rather is actually in relatively good nick. These are just hairs all around here, but in relatively good nick. I think something may have been going on here though, because that bit of conduit there, I don't know if that's OEM. I don't believe it is, because I don't think that would have been a Kawasaki thing personally, and some of these wires don't look quite right. Somebody's obviously done some bits and bobs here. I imagine it's had some luggage at some point, because it's got these little brackets at the back here, but generally speaking, if you look around the bike, there's a little bit of rust, there's a little bit of corrosion, a little bit of pitting. The exhaust look fine. The front brakes are very, very grabby. I think this has been sat around for quite some time, because when I tried to roll it in here, it was really, really stiff, so we'll probably have to get those calipers off and give them a service as well, like we did on the GSX 1400. I'll stick a link in here for that. And it's got braided lines as well. As I said, it's got the stock exhaust, but it's in incredibly good condition. Tyres look okay, wheels look okay, discs look okay, and as I said, it turns over. It's not in terrible condition. Now, as I said, the crash bars as well here, they're a bit rusty, but not anything I couldn't clean up. I might spray them, I might even get another set. They're probably only 40 or 50 quid. What else? I must remember to turn that fuel off as well. And what else? Not much else to say really. Little mark down there, but that's about it. It's got heated grips as well, so it's probably used, as I would imagine it should be used, as a kind of winter commuter perhaps, something like that. That would be my guess, because it's got a luggage rack, it's got heated grips, etc, etc, and it doesn't owe anybody a huge amount of money. So what are we going to do? I'm going to try to basically get a sprag clutch repair kit or a sprag clutch, see what we can find out there, see if we can get this thing started. What I might do is, as soon as I can, get a socket big enough to get this off. I managed to get these off obviously, but I've got to get a socket to get this off so we can put the new one on, get that all in there, get everything buttoned back up, get the bike rebuilt as it were, to the point where the keys that I've got will work with it. That's obviously the first plan, and then I'm going to try to bump start it just in the car park here, just to see if I can get it started, so to make sure that there's no underlying problems with the bike when it's running, because obviously there's no point in me going out and buying a sprag clutch kit for it, or indeed a new sprag clutch, if the engine is toast. So effectively what we're going to do is build it back up over the next video, and then I might even put you on a tripod, and you can watch me try to bump start this bike, and we'll see if it starts. I mean, I can't start it today, as you can see, but we will try. We will try to get this lovely ZR750, which has only got 21,000 miles, back on the road. It's a 1999, so it's a bit of a classic. I think it's worth doing. I think it's worth trying to bring this back, put it back on the road, see where we are with it, because I think this is a 1,500 quid bike, easily. With those kind of miles, maybe even 2 grand. You know, if you can get it looking nice, because obviously the matching fairing comes up here, the seat's in perfect condition, and with the mileage, if I put a 12-month MOT on this, I think you could be looking at close to 2 grand, 1,500 to 2 grand. So it was worth a gamble. I mean, I think the engine's probably worth, you know, with that, if you put a sprag clutch in it, if the whole thing's toast, you could part this out for 500 quid, I think. The wheels are probably 100 quid each. The exhaust, I don't know, 100 quid. You could salvage this out, break it as it were, for 500 quid and get your money back, but I'm going to try to put this back on the road and see if we can salvage this beautiful green meanie here. So if you're interested in that, consider subscribing, give the video a thumbs up, a like and a share as usual, all that good stuff, and we will catch up in the next one when this is back together, and we'll try to get it started. Alright, as I said, if you like this kind of content, consider subscribing, hit the like button, and we'll catch up with this in a couple of weeks. Thanks for watching. Take care now.